moment you stop waiting for everything to be perfect is the moment that you will start to have success. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the JS Show. I'm so glad that you are here with me. I've got another action-packed episode for you with a lot of heavy-hitting stuff as usual. Don't really have anything to announce at the moment. As I've been saying, I have a lot of videos coming out that are going to be really good. Probably, I have a big one that I think is could potentially change the ball game for me, and really start to make stuff take off for me. So that'll probably be in the next week or so. Hopefully in the next week. We're kind of waiting on something to take place before I upload the video, just because I kind of need it to be able to launch properly. That being said, though, let's go ahead and jump into it. So today we are talking about, I guess you could call it planning. We're talking about waiting for the perfect time, perfect conditions, basically. As humans, we tend to not be super big risk takers. We like to be able to, at least for me, I know I always have to plan. I have to have this big complex plan. Every detail has to be planned out. Well, that's at least how I used to be. Now I'm kind of more like, I see this. Okay, it could work. Let's try it. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So the very first point that I want to make to you is something that I had to come to a realization of, because if you don't realize this, it really holds you back. And what you have to realize is we are imperfect people as humans, and we live in an imperfect world. So the perfect conditions, the perfect timing will never come along. You just have to pull it together with what you've got and jump into it. Really, it's as simple as that. I had to really realize that because I wanted stuff to be so perfect before I did that. And that's what took me so long to get my Airbnb launched, which ended up costing me a lot of money in the long run. It's good to have a plan, but it doesn't need to be a perfect plan. Because if you wait for a perfect plan, it's never going to be perfect, because this world is imperfect, you're imperfect, I'm imperfect, we're all imperfect. So there's no point and no sense in waiting on a perfect plan. You just have to realize that, and it's hard, especially if you're like me and how I was, where I had to have the details all laid out, or else I wasn't going to do it. So it's definitely a tough one. So we are imperfect people, but then the world that we live in is also imperfect, which means that our timing's never going to be perfect. The conditions around us are never going to be perfect. Look, I'm about in as perfect condition as I can be. I'm not in a relationship. I don't have kids. I don't have any of that other responsibility. I'm a single male adult where I have a job, and then I get to commit everything else to what I'm doing here. It's about as perfect of a conditions as you can ask for. And so the thing is, if you are where you do have kids, you have a spouse, whatever, the conditions are never going to get better. You're only going to get busier, because as life goes on, more stuff starts to pile up. And so your conditions are never going to be perfect. Timing is never going to be perfect. So stop waiting for perfect. So once you start to realize that things aren't going to be perfect ever, you just have to realize that you just have to take action. Take imperfect action. Because when you take imperfect action, you get rewarded for speed. Because what happens is when you take imperfect action, yes, you are going to slip up here and there, but you are taking action and building. But what is happening is you're figuring it out. FIO. Figure it out. That is probably one of the biggest traits of entrepreneurs, is they have the ability to FIO. And that's in anything, big or small. When you can figure things out in a complex way, a quick-mannered way, it completely changes the ballgame because you're thinking on your feet all the time. And so all of these little things that come up, like for example, with my Airbnb, I only have the one unit right now, so it doesn't make sense for me to pay a virtual assistant to handle all of the guest communications. So I still have to do that. So when a guest has, not necessarily a complaint, but they have an issue, like one, this winter, the heater so it's a split unit, so the heater in the living area stopped working. It was just blowing out cold air, which I hated it for the guests, but I couldn't get anything done at that time. So I had to think on my feet. I had to figure something out for them. I couldn't just say, oh, well, you're on your own, you got to figure it out. No, because then they would have left me an awful review, and no, that just ruins it. And you can't settle for just, oh, well, that's just how it is either. I had to figure it out. And so what I did is I went and found where I could pick up a really nice space heater. And I ordered it, picked it up, went and dropped it off same day. Problem fixed within a few hours. And so the guests ended up being really happy with it. I even threw in some extra stuff, some extra food. I took them food, dropped off some groceries for them. It's just that ability to figure it out is so huge. And I've been at this for a year now. And my ability to think on my feet and my problem-solving skills, I thought I had good problem-solving skills, which I did for where I was in life. But becoming an entrepreneur and doing things, taking imperfect action, man, that completely changed the ballgame for me. My problem-solving skills went from here to way up here, and it's only going to continue to go up from here. So that's the thing. Is imperfect action leads to character building, leads to problem-solving ability building, just all of that. It helps you grow as an entrepreneur because that's the only action you can take. Imperfect action is the only option. Because if you don't take imperfect action, you will never take action. So stop sitting around waiting for things to become perfect, waiting for certain people to come into your life, for certain things to take place or change or whatever. Because it's never going to be a perfect time. You're never going to have a perfect scenario. Nothing. You're not going to have everything at that moment. But you have got to take imperfect action and figure it out. And that goes with all aspects of life too. Not just being an entrepreneur. If you are a dad or a husband or whatever, it applies there. Because think about it. If you're outside playing with your kids and say you got a basketball goal. I was a big basketball kid growing up. And you decide you want to show off your kids or something, so you lower the goal to 9 feet. I'm being generous. Probably more like 8.5. You lower your goal down, and so you're sitting there dunking on it, and it breaks. Same thing applies. You got to figure something out because now your kids don't get to play. And kids are kids, and they're going to throw a fit if they don't get to play. So you got to figure something out. So imperfect action applies to all areas of life, not just entrepreneurship. You have to be able to think on your feet, problem solve effectively and quickly, and just figure it out. It may not be perfect, but guess what? Imperfect action is better than no action. because perfect will never happen. Never. So what are you waiting for? Stop waiting around for things to become perfect, because they never will. So just get out there with whatever you are wanting to do, whether it be starting that business, whether it be building that relationship with your spouse, with your children, with that person in your life that you just need to forgive for whatever they did to you in the past. Stop waiting, because perfect timing will never come across, and before you know it, you will have run out of time. So take imperfect action and figure it out from there. You can do it, because I've done it. Tons of people do it every day. You just have to be able to take that imperfect action and figure out what to do. Well, this is probably the shortest episode that I have had in a while. This is really a specific topic, and it's more of like, you just have to do it. There's not a lot of advice to it, but I think it's something that we need to hear as people, as entrepreneurs, as professionals, whatever, as fathers, as children, as spouses, whatever. It's something we need to hear, because we need to figure it out. We need to take imperfect action. Stop waiting around, watching TV, thinking, oh, one day that'll come. That is another episode I will be doing at some point, is about the phrase, one day. Just wait for it. But we use one day way too often. We use one day way too often to put off things. As we almost use it as an excuse. But, so, I hope you enjoyed this shorter episode of it. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and like it if you liked my content. If you didn't, let me know what kind of stuff you want to hear from me, want to hear about, want to learn about. Like I've been saying, I've got a lot of stuff coming other than just podcast content. I've got some real estate stuff. I've got some side hustle stuff. It's just going to be really good. And I am super excited. I've got a lot of stuff really working right now. And yeah. Oh, and also, I just had my biggest booking on Airbnb to date. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, the channel is definitely on the up and up. So go ahead, subscribe, share with a bunch of other people. Tell them to subscribe, because I haven't shared it on here yet. If you follow me on social media, if you don't, follow me. But I did a 100 subscriber giveaway to one of my subscribers. And it was funny because he actually denied it. He did not want it. It was $100, but he was like, no, I don't want it. He wanted to he kept asking how he could invest it back into what I'm doing. And I told him I appreciated that, but I really wanted to give him the $100. But he was pretty adamant about it. So, I'm going to try to work something out with him to figure something out there. It'd probably be down the road, but yeah, he'll have that. That was a smart answer, I guess. But so, my goal for the 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I know I am just a little over a tenth of the way there, but the quicker we get there, the quicker the giveaway comes. What it's going to be $1,000. I don't know if it's going to be $1,000 to one person, or if I'm going to split it a couple ways, 4 ways, 10 ways, whatever. I may have a little poll over it. But yeah, be on the lookout for that, and help me get to 1,000 subscribers so we can do that. But other than that, thank you guys for watching another episode of the JS Show. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.